If you have ever driven past a construction site, you have probably noticed a trailer with a tall mast and several security cameras mounted on top. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a few cameras on wheels. But in reality, these systems represent an entire industry that has been growing rapidly over the last several years. Today, mobile surveillance trailers are used far beyond construction sites. You will find them protecting industrial facilities, energy projects, parking lots, public events, and many other locations where businesses need to deploy professional security quickly and maintain reliable protection around the clock. I first became interested in this topic several years ago. One of my first opportunities to learn about these systems in depth was at the security show in Orlando, GSX 2024, when I spoke with a team from LVT, one of the industry's leading manufacturers. Since then, I have continued researching this market by speaking with manufacturers, security integrators, remote monitoring providers, software developers, and the companies that rely on mobile surveillance trailers every day. Those conversations have given me much better understanding not only of the strengths of these systems, but also of the challenges and practical realities that rarely appear in marketing materials. So, in this video, I want to share more than just information you can find online. I also want to share the practical insights, real-world observations, and industry experience that security professionals have shared with me over the years. We will look at what mobile surveillance trailer actually is, why this market is growing so quickly right now, and how the systems work, and why they have become much more than convenient piece of equipment for many organizations. Today, they have become important part of how businesses protect temporary sites, reduce risk, and manage security operations more efficiently. Before we look at the trailer itself, let's first look at the problem it was designed to solve. Imagine a typical construction job site. From the first day, expensive machinery, tools, building materials, fuel, and the other valuable equipment start arriving on site. But the building itself may not exist yet. There may be no electricity, no fixed internet connection, and sometimes not even a proper access road. At the same time, the site already needs 24/7 security. And this is not just about preventing theft. Companies also need to control who enters the property, document incidents, monitor safety compliance, protect workers and equipment, and always have a clear record of what happened on site. If something is stolen, damaged, or involved in accident, they need reliable video evidence to understand exactly what happened. Interesting, almost every security professional I have interviewed describes the same challenge. Businesses need a complete security solution from the very first day of a project, even though the infrastructure required for traditional security system simply doesn't exist yet. But there is another important reason why these systems have become so popular, and it discussed much less often. Insurance. Construction job sites, energy facilities, oil and gas projects, and many other temporary locations are considered high-risk environments. They often contain expensive equipment and valuable materials, while the site itself changes constantly as the project moves forward. Equipment is relocated, new structures appear, access points move, and the overall layout can look completely different from one week to the next. Because of these risks, video surveillance may be much more than a just additional layer of security. Depending on the insurer, the type of project, and the level of risk, having a professional security system may be an important part of insurance process. And the problem is that installing traditional fixed video surveillance system on this type of sites is often impractical. There may be no permanent structure to mount cameras on, no fixed power, and no reliable internet connection. Running cables across active construction site can also be expensive, time-consuming, and sometimes unsafe. And even if a traditional system can be installed, the project itself may only last a few months. Once the work is finished, the entire security system has to be removed and moved to the next location. This is exactly where mobile surveillance trailers makes sense. Businesses need a complete security solution that can be delivered to a site, deployed within hours, operate without permanent infrastructure, and later be relocated just as quickly to another project. As the construction site changes, the trailer can also be repositioned to maintain the best possible visibility and reduce blind spots. And it was this combination of business needs, insurance requirements, and advances in modern technology that turned mobile surveillance trailers into one of the fastest growing categories in the physical security industry today. What is interesting is that the idea of mobile video surveillance is not new. Mobile surveillance trailers have been around for many years. But if you look at the market today, it is clear that growth has accelerated dramatically over the last maybe 3-5 years. So why is this happening? Based on my conversations with manufacturers, security integrators, software developers, there is no just one reason. Several important technologies have matured at the same time, making these solutions far more practical and valuable than they were just a few years ago. First, modern security cameras have become significantly better while also becoming more affordable. They offer much higher image quality, perform much better in low light conditions, and can cover much larger areas than previous generations. As a result, businesses can monitor more of their property with fewer cameras while capturing much more useful evidence when incident occurs. Second, connectivity has improved dramatically. Today, many sites can rely on LTE or 5G networks, while remote locations increasingly use satellite internet services such as Starlink. This makes it possible to transmit live video from locations where traditional wired internet simply isn't available, allowing businesses to deploy professional security systems almost anywhere. But probably the single biggest reason behind the rapid growth of the market is artificial intelligence. Only 5-10 years ago, most surveillance cameras had one primary job: recording the video. If something happened, a security operator either had to search through hours of recorded footage or continuously watch multiple cameras feeds in real time, hoping to notice an accident before it was too late. Today, modern AI-powered systems can analyze video automatically as events happen. The most basic level of AI analytics is detecting whether the camera sees a person, vehicle, or animal. Even that simple capability dramatically reduces false alarms compared to traditional motion detection, because the system can distinguish meaningful activity from things like moving shadows, rain, or blowing vegetation. But today's AI video analytics go much further than that. Many platforms can perform facial recognition and license plate recognition, often referred to as LPR. They can detect when someone crosses a virtual line, enters restricted areas, identify abandoned or removed objects, detect smoke and early signs of fire, perform weapon detection, and support many other types of intelligent video analytics that continue to evolve every year. Construction sites are also seeing rapid growth in AI designed specifically for worker safety. For example, AI can determine whether a worker is wearing hard hat, high visibility safety vest, or other required personal protective equipment, often referred to as PPE. Some platforms can also detect false or other potentially dangerous situations and immediately notify a remote monitoring operator, allowing much faster response times. And this technology is evolving incredibly fast. That shift has completely changed the way remote monitoring works. Instead of asking operator to continuously watch dozens of video feeds waiting for something to happen, the AI analyzes every cameras in real time. It identifies events that actually matter and alerts the operator only when human attention is generously required. As a result, a single operator can efficiently monitor many more locations than before, while businesses benefit from the faster response times, fewer missed incidents, and much more efficient security operations. And that is one of the biggest reasons why today's mobile surveillance trailers are no longer just mobile camera towers. They are rapidly becoming intelligent security platforms that combine video surveillance, AI analytics, communications, and remote monitoring into a single solution. Now let's take a closer look at what modern mobile surveillance trailer actually is. At first glance, the concept looks fairly simple. It is a towable trailer with a telescopic mast and several security cameras mounted at the top. But after speaking with manufacturers, it becomes clear that the trailer itself is probably the simplest part of the entire system. In reality, a mobile surveillance trailer is a self-contained mobile security platform that brings several different technologies together in one solution. The trailer allows the entire system to be delivered quickly to construction site, parking lot, industrial facility, or another temporary location. Once the project is complete, the same unit can be lowered, transported, and redeployed at another site. This mobility is one of its biggest advantages, especially for companies that operate several temporary locations or need to move security coverage as the project develops. Most commercial units use a telescopic mast that extends to approximately 20 to 30 feet. Raising the cameras above the sides provides a much wider field of view, allowing one unit to cover a large area while reducing blind spots created by heavy equipment, shipping containers, construction materials, vehicles, and temporary structures. On active construction site, this is especially important because the layout can change constantly. Many mobile surveillance trailers are equipped with PTZ cameras. PTZ stands for pan, tilt, and zoom, which means the camera can rotate horizontally, move vertically, and zoom in on specific areas. This allows a remote monitoring operator to investigate activity in a greater detail and follow person or vehicle as it moves across the property. In addition to PTZ cameras, trailers often include fixed, bullet, dome, panoramic, or thermal cameras. These cameras continuously monitor specific areas that require constant coverage, such as entrances, gates, material storage areas, fuel tanks, and locations where vehicle or heavy equipment are parked. The exact camera configuration depends on the size of the property, the risk involved, and the type of activity the customer needs to monitor. But the cameras are only one part of the system. A modern mobile surveillance trailer may also include local or cloud-based video storage, edge controller or video recorder, network equipment, LTE or 5G connectivity, and when required, satellite internet such as Starlink, like we mentioned before. All of these components work together to record video, transmit live feeds, run analytics, generate alerts, and give operators remote access to the system. Many units also include high-powered LED floodlights, strobe lights, sirens, and horns. These are not simply additional accessories. They are part of what industry often calls active deterrence, because the system is designed not only to record incident, but also to intervene while it is happening. For example, when the AI detects suspicious activity, an alert can be sent to remote monitoring center. Then operator can review the video, verify that real person has entered to the property, activate the lights, and speak directly through the loudspeaker or horn. In many situations, a live voice warning is enough to stop a theft or trespassing incident before police or mobile security guard needs to be dispatched. This is an important difference between traditional camera system and professional monitored mobile surveillance trailer. Traditional camera may provide evidence after the incident. Monitored trailer can help identify the activity, verify the threat, and respond in real time while a person is still on the property. So, while the trailer may look like a simple piece of equipment, it is actually the foundation for a much more complex security solution. It combines cameras, communications, video storage, AI analytics, remote monitoring, and active deterrence in one mobile platform that can operate almost anywhere. After seeing everything that is built into a modern mobile surveillance trailer, many people naturally ask the same question. If the system includes cameras, AI analytics, network equipment, horns, and multiple communication systems, where does all the power come from? After all, these trailers are usually deployed in places where there is no connection to electricity grid. That is exactly why the power system is one of the most important parts of the entire platform. Based on my conversations with manufacturers, there is no single power solution that works perfectly for every application. The right choice depends on where the trailer will be deployed, the local climate, the expected duration of the project, and the customer's operational requirements. The most common configuration today is a hybrid power system that combines solar panels with a battery bank. During the day, solar panels generate electricity, while also charging the batteries. At night or during periods of cloudy weather, the entire system continues operating using the energy that has already been stored. For many projects, this provides more than enough power to keep the system running continuously. However, not every location receives enough sunlight throughout the year. Some regions experience long winters, frequent overcast conditions, or simply have much higher power demands because of additional cameras, lighting, or communication equipment. In those situations, the most common backup solution is a diesel, gasoline, or propane generator. When the battery charge falls below the predetermined level, the generator starts automatically, recharges the batteries, and then shuts down again. This approach is much more fuel efficient than running a generator continuously, while still providing reliable power whenever it is needed. Over the last several years, some manufacturers have also introduced another interesting technology: direct methanol fuel cells. Instead of generating electricity by burning fuel like a traditional generator, these systems produce electricity through electrochemical reaction using methanol. They are often combined with solar panels and batteries, creating a hybrid power system that can operate for weeks or even months with very little maintenance. Compared with generators, fuel cell systems operate much more quietly, require less routine servicing, and may be especially attractive for organizations that want to reduce noise, minimize maintenance visits, and lower carbon emissions. But powering the trailer is only part of the story. Modern mobile surveillance trailers continuously monitor their own health in addition to monitoring the site they are protecting. Operators can remotely view battery charge levels, solar panel performance, generator or fuel cell status, fuel levels, equipment temperature, network connectivity, and many other operational parameters. If one of these systems begins to operate outside its normal range, the service provider can often identify the issue long before it affects the cameras or remote monitoring operations. This allows maintenance to be scheduled proactively instead of waiting for an unexpected failure in the field. After everything we have discussed, you might assume that most companies simply purchase a mobile surveillance trailer and use it on their own job sites. In reality, the market works a little differently. One thing that becomes very clear while speaking with manufacturers and service providers is that many customers are not actually buying the trailer itself. Instead, they are purchasing a complete managed security service. You can ask why. Let's take a construction company as example. Today, it may be building a residential deployment in one part of the city. A year later, that project is finished and equipment moves to another job site. A few months later, the company starts a completely different project in another region. From the construction company's perspective, becoming expert in mobile surveillance simply isn't part of its business. It doesn't want to maintain cameras, refuel generators, service equipment, monitor battery health, troubleshoot network connectivity, or keep software up to date. Its job is to build buildings, not manage security technology. That's where specialized service providers come in. Many companies offer mobile surveillance trailers as a complete managed solution. Depending on the provider, that service may include trailer itself, one-site deployment, remote video monitoring, preventive maintenance, cellular connectivity, generator or fuel cell management, software updates, regular service visits, and 24/7 technical support. In other words, the customer receives a complete security system that can begin protecting the site almost immediately after it arrives. While preparing this video, I also spent some time researching how the services are typically priced. When I first started looking into this market back in 2024, a typical mobile surveillance trailer rental often started at around $3,000 per month. More advanced configurations that include 24/7 remote monitoring, additional cameras, larger power systems, generators, or fuel cells could cost $4,000 to $5,000 per month or even more. Of course, these numbers should only be viewed as general reference points. Actual pricing depends on the country, the region, rental period, the equipment configuration, the level of remote monitoring, and the services included in the package. At the same time, the market has become much more competitive over the last several years. More manufacturers and service providers have entered the industry, giving customers much wider range of options in both pricing and capabilities. That's why, if you are considering a mobile surveillance trailer for your business, I would encourage you to compare much more than monthly price. Ask what AI analytics are included. Ask who performs the remote monitoring. Ask how quickly operators respond to verified events. Ask how the unit is powered, what uptime guarantees are provided, and I recommend it's minimum 3-5 days. What maintenance is included, and how quickly replacement equipment can be deployed if something fails. In many cases, the answers to those questions will have a much greater impact on the success of the project than the cost of trailer itself. As we have seen throughout this video, today's mobile surveillance trailers are much more than trailers with a few cameras mounted on the top. They combine autonomous power systems, modern security cameras, artificial intelligence, remote video monitoring, wireless communications, and ongoing service support into one single integrated platform. Wireless communications and ongoing service support into a single integrated security platform. And in my opinion, that is exactly what makes the market is so interesting. I believe we will see even more innovation over the next few years, and it will be exciting to watch how these technologies continue to change the way temporary sites are protected. If you are interested in modern physical security technologies, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Over the past several years, I have had the opportunity to speak with manufacturers, system integrators, software developers, end users across Canada and United States to better understand how this industry is evolving. My goal is to share what I learned in a way that's practical, objective, and easy to understand. In future videos, we will continue exploring modern security technologies, artificial intelligence, and real-world projects to help business owners better understand which solutions actually work, where they make sense, and why. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Need a security system installed? Finding a trusted, qualified integrator isn't easy. Pipl Systems is a platform to find verified, professional security integrators. Browse by location, see real projects, and choose a company you can actually trust. Pipl Systems. Find your trusted security integrator today.